Hey everybody, it's me, Coach Rebecca Smith, and today I'm talking to you about summer training. So it is May over here in California, and it's probably May also where you are, unless you're catching this on the podcast later on. And what this means for gymnasts, at least, is well, a couple things. One, what it used to mean for me was hallelujah, competition season is over. Now I can go back to having fun. I don't have to just do the routines over and over and over and all the nitpicking and the criticism. It's like, okay, it's summertime and I get to play around and learn new things. And usually it also meant that my coaches were going to ride me and the conditioning was going to get really, really hard because it was the time to build strength and like kind of start playing around with upgrades so that by the time we get to summer, like end of summer, we have an idea of what skills you have, how strong you are, what level you're going, all that good stuff. So it's like this 3-month reprieve on you don't have to be so stressed about competition season. Um, but here I am talking to you about competition season. So, the reason I want to bring this up is that you have this incredible opportunity. Any of you who compete in the winter, and if you compete right now or next week or whatever, you can still benefit from what I'm going to tell you today. These are the 3 things to focus on in the off season that will set you up for the best competition season yet. All right. So, that's the way I look at it. It's like step 1, summer training. Step 2, best season of your life. But what matters is what's in between those. What are you putting into, what are the ingredients that you're baking that cake with that's going to allow the cake that you have baked in November to allow you to be confident. We have affectionately called November Nervous November in the gymnastics world because that's when usually you're supposed to have all your skills, you're supposed to have all your routines, and you are just this comparison factory. And you're like, I'm not where I should be, and they're better than me, and oh no, I'm going to fail. And I just talked to this group of athletes who I work with locally who killed it this season. Like, so much podium action for this team this season. And I was like, do you guys remember November? And they're like, oh, yeah. They all were like, we're doomed. This is going to be so bad. And then, obviously we rework that. We work on some mental skills and they end up going and having a great season. Anyway, if you start your mental training now and a couple of other things, you are going to be in business. Okay. So there are 3 things I want you to do this summer that's going to allow you to show up August through November, just feeling so ready. So that in January, it's going to be this self-trust, effortless, fun experience. That is totally possible. Okay. Number 1, the first thing I want you to focus on this summer is taking care of your body. All right. Some of you may be doing school all year, but I'm assuming you're going to get at least some kind of a break from school. You may be ramping up your training hours, but still, I have a feeling that you can get more sleep. Okay. I wish that every sport let kids out at 7:30 so they could go home, have dinner, do some homework, and go to bed at a reasonable time. Because if you're between the ages of 12 and 17, you need 9+ hours of sleep. Like 9+ hours of sleep. 10 is better, especially for a body that is training so hard. So the most sleep you can get, if you can write the number 9 in your mind and go, I am going to get 9 hours of sleep as many nights this summer as possible, you will be amazed. Kids that come to us for help with mental blocks, first question I ask, how much sleep do you get? Maybe not the first, but it's on the list of the first questions. How much sleep do you get on average? The kids who have the most fear get the least sleep. The kids who have more sleep have a better control over their minds and their bodies. Okay, along those same lines, nutrition. So if you're like me and you could live off bagels and goldfish, that's okay. But if you can get more good stuff in there, like that good protein, like all those vitamins, making sure that you're fueling enough, that you're not just eating those spike and crash foods. My friend Christina Anderson, who's the gymnast nutritionist, has amazing resources for you. See if you can dial your nutrition in a little. Now, I don't mean like go on a diet or anything like that. I'm just talking about how can you fuel your machine. Your body is your performance machine. So you are filling it up with sleep and good food so that it can get out there and give you the best training possible. All right, this is your healing time potentially. This is the time when your body can maybe recover from all those hard pounding vaults or all of those big routines be fiercely protective of your body this summer. And if you find that you're injured or you're hurting, don't let it slide. Be really, really vocal about, ooh, I'm not sure. My back kind of hurts. My ankle hurts. Now, I'm not saying go and whine a bunch. I'm saying get in the habit of communicating when you're feeling pain so that you can be fiercely protecting your body this summer. Okay, so raise your right hand and repeat after me. I will take care of my body this summer. Okay, good. That's the first thing to focus on. The second thing I want you to focus on to have the best season ever is finding your joy. Okay, this is, I think, an underrated part of sports. There's this whole camp of sport coaches and parents who are like, it doesn't have to be fun. It's all about working hard. My mom used to pick me up at the gym and be like, are you bleeding? Are you bruised? Well, we'll have to send you back. It was never about the joy. She was being like tongue in cheek about it, but that's what I remember. It was like hard work, grueling, dragging, afraid. The word joy was in there, but it was little compared to the words like fear and strength training and conditioning and pushing. So something that works really well for me is to set a reminder to practice gratitude. One of the quickest ways to find joy in your sport is to regularly practice gratitude. I'll give you a little example. So when my husband and I, before we were married, we were living together, maybe we were living together for like 6 months. And we were at this point where I was like, this guy's a slob. He leaves his socks on the dinner table. Ew. He'd walk in and just like drop his dirty work socks on the dinner table. And then he would like throw his work shirt on the floor in the living room. Like this man could not find the hamper. I was like, oh my gosh. And then there were dishes in the sink. And I was like, I am dating a caveman. I really think I'm dating a caveman. He's very cute, but he's a caveman. And I don't know if I can live like this. So I remember pulling in the driveway and just like, the like rage would start to boil and I'd be like, ugh, what's it gonna be like when I get into that house after my long day of school, my long day of work? And I walk in and I was like, oh, just stomping around and so grumpy. And so I was like, I'm going to turn this around. This is not the way I want to see this human. We get in these habits of kind of like dreading certain things or expecting certain things. So what I did was I actually set an alarm on my phone that would go off when I pulled into my driveway. So it was like a location-based reminder. You can set these if you have an iPhone. So every time I pulled up into my driveway, it would give me a little notification that said, I'm grateful for Austin. And so when I pulled up, I would sit in my car before I got out of the car and walked in. I would go, I'm grateful that he works hard. I'm grateful that he's kind. I'm grateful that he listens. I'm grateful that he cares. I would just start kind of rattling off at least 3 things I was grateful for, which would sort of set the tone. And then I'd walk into the house and be like, you know what? It's worth the dirty socks for how good of a human this guy is and how kind and thoughtful he is. It's fine. I can put socks in a hamper. It's worth it to me. So I decided I'm going to navigate around that shortcoming because I'm choosing to see what's great. Okay. Now, how does this apply to your sport? Well, you can set that same reminder so that when you pull up to your training facility, it says, I'm grateful for gymnastics. I'm grateful for swimming. I'm grateful for figure skating, whatever your sport is, or I'm grateful for my sport. And then as you're getting out of the car, you're like, I'm grateful that this makes me strong. I'm grateful that my best friends are here. I'm grateful that these coaches love me like their own children. And you just start your day with gratitude. It's going to remind you how good you have it. Like, I'm so grateful I can even do gymnastics, that I have enough limbs and I'm so strong and I'm getting better over time. So the little things like that does not take like a big overhaul to change the way that you perceive your circumstances. Okay, there's another quick little tip I'll give you. It's all about being present and finding something pleasant. So there's this little acronym that we use in PerformHappy called OPT, and it stands for one pleasant thing. So in this moment, I want you to find something pleasant. Okay, and you can find something pleasant with any of your senses. I have a little LaCroix can in front of me that is a beautiful shade of green, and I think it is pleasant. Okay, so find something that's pleasant and just take a moment and go, that's pleasant. What that does is it brings you into the moment, it brings you into your joy, and it allows you, no matter what's going on in your life, if you have the craziest, most terrifying life right now, you can find that green LaCroix can and go, there is something good in this day. It's the feeling of your fuzzy socks. Whatever it is, it could be something you see, you smell, you taste, you touch. If you can find OPT in any moment, that will allow you to tap into a little bit of joy, come back into the moment where everything is okay. Yes, it might be stressful tomorrow or even in 5 minutes, but right now, it's okay. All right? So other ways to increase your joy, it's about relationships, building better relationships with your coaches and your teammates and your parents. Spend this summer deciding, I am going to become besties with my coach. And you show up and you're like, hey, coach, you're looking good today. Hey, coach, I loved that workout. Now, I don't mean you have to go become a brown noser, but I don't think there's any harm in you choosing to be kind and choosing to build let that be your goal. I'm going to have a great relationship with my coach, especially if you have a challenging one. What can you do to improve it this summer? Or if there's a, girl or guy in your group who you just do not mesh with, what if you make it your commitment to get better? Oh, I have a visitor. Violet, I need you to go so I can be live. Okay. Well, here's my little dancer Violet here. She's my one pleasant thing in this moment. Now in comes the dog. Such is life, right? Okay. So so I want you to raise your right hand. Oh, and here comes the other dog, you guys. Mom life. Raise your right hand and say, I will find my joy this summer. Okay. The third thing I want you to do is train your mind. Of course, you knew it was going this way. I am obviously such an advocate of training your mind, because if you train your body, that's great. But if you train your mind and your body at the same time, that's how you unlock your inner champion. So I don't want you to wait to come till nervous November to be like, oh, I'm freaking out. What do I do? Let's do some preventative mental training. Okay, so a couple things that I think are really important as far as mental training. Number one, having a growth mindset. So that means that you're letting go of perfectionism. By the way, Violet has a beautiful princess dress on top of her head right now.
No, it's hair.
Oh, it's hair. Excuse me. And my husband is in trouble for not being on duty, but that's okay. We'll talk to him later. I'm grateful for Austin. Remember? So we're letting go of perfectionism and starting to focus on progress. Okay?
Yeah.
Progress instead of perfection. You, my friend, have got to go. I love you very much, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. Okay? Okay, go ask Ruby. Ruby will set you up.
Then I'll stay
Okay.
with you.
Bye. Okay. Live. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta go, sweets.
No.
Okay, then you gotta be quiet. Deal?
No. Not deal.
One pleasant thing. Got it. Okay. So letting go of perfectionism, being proud of progress. If there's something that you're really terrible at, instead of focusing on, oh, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at this, start to ask yourself, well, what am I getting better at? All right. And then here's something real quick that I'm going to invite you to. We are starting our live Champion Mindset Challenge. This is 100% free. This is just chock full of tools. It's going to teach you the 5 keys to building that champion mindset. And we start on Sunday. So go ahead and sign up at completeperformancecoaching.com/challenge. And get in there. It is going to be hundreds of young athletes who have big dreams and are excited to just set this summer off on the right foot mentally. So I hope that you will join us. Again, that's completeperformancecoaching.com/challenge. And you can also check out all of our free resources. If you want to train your mind, we have so many resources for you. We have the PerformHappy podcast, the blog, we're on Instagram. Just keep hanging out with us this summer, and we're going to keep giving you lots of tips to make this the best one yet. See you soon. Bye.